Raised on Prospero, Magnus was mentored by the Psyker scholar Amon. He then mastered every psychic training and any program given to him, and he quickly became the strongest person in that world. He then purged the Psych New and Warp entities and became the hero of Prospero. Magnus was always special from the beginning, even amongst his other Primarch brothers, for he had remembered everything since his creation, and he even conversed with the Emperor psychically. So when the Emperor came to Prospero for his son, the two embraced and conversed like they were old friends. Unfortunately, the Space Marines created under Magnus's gene seed had multiple psychic mutations, and he spent 60 years trying to cure the flesh change. He even lost his right eye in a bargain with a warp entity, which later turned out to be Zeech. Although the flesh change did stop, it only lasted for a small amount of time. During the Great Crusade, Magnus's use of warp powers caused a schism amongst the Primarchs, and the Council of Nicaea had to be held. Here, the Emperor decreed that all librarians were to cease the use of psychic powers, all except for the astropaths and navigators. However, Magnus still continued to practice and study the warp in secret. Magnus then foresaw the events of the Horus Heresy, and when his attempts to talk his brothers out of it failed, he attempted to psychically warn the Emperor. Unfortunately, a barrier was erected around the Imperial Palace, and Magnus had no choice but to accept power from chaos in order to break through. This led to demons pouring into the Emperor's throne room. The Emperor managed to slay them all, but in his anger he banished Magnus for his insolence, and he paid no heed to the warnings of his son. The Emperor then sent Leman Russ and his Space Wolves to arrest Magnus for his wrongdoings, but Horus then ordered Russ for the destruction of the Thousand Suns and the execution of Magnus the Red. This led to the burning of Prospero and a great battle between the two Primarchs. But just as Russ was about to kill Magnus, a deal was struck with Zeech, and all of the Thousand Suns were teleported away to safety. Magnus and his legion would live, but at what cost? Throughout the events of the heresy, Magnus helped Mortarion in controlling his innate psychic abilities. He even killed Malkador and went on to kill the Emperor, but Vulcan stopped him. During this fight, the Emperor showed Magnus what could have been: a future of prosperity, a future with no heresy. But Magnus had to sacrifice his legion for this future to become reality. Angered at this, Magnus fully gave himself over to chaos. After the heresy, the demon prince Magnus fought against the Space Wolves upon Fenris, heavily damaging their gene seed factories, and he also helped in creating a massive warp rift across the galaxy. Magnus then fought against Robut Guilliman upon Luna, and he was about to slay his loyalist brother until the Sisters of Silence arrived, and weakened him to the point where Guilliman was able to stab Magnus through his heart, sending him reeling back into the warp. And if you like what we do here, you can always support us by hitting that subscribe button, liking, hitting the notification bell, and of course checking out our Patreon page. But that's all I got for today, guys. This has been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.